Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be back. Today I'm going to be sharing a hearty beef chili recipe that is a one-pot favorite in my house. Okay, so here are our ingredients. I have a mixture of beans. You can use whatever beans you like. This time I use black beans, great northern beans, pinto beans, and red kidney beans. I also use 1 whole red onion, 3 bell peppers. You can use whatever color you have on hand. I happen to have a red, a yellow, and an orange. 1 can of whole kernel corn. And why is kernel so hard to say? Like, that is a difficult word for me. Kernel of corn. As well as a can of diced tomatoes, a pound of ground beef, some garlic, chicken bouillon, and then my chili seasoning recipe, which I'll have all of the quantities listed in the description box, as well as a can of diced tomatoes. Okay, so I'm making this recipe in a Ninja multi-cooker. I normally make this on a stovetop in a Dutch oven, but this is just easier to film. So I'm adding some grapeseed oil, then I'm going to add my ground beef, and I'm just going to brown it off until I see no more pink. But while I'm browning off the ground beef, I'm also going to put my onions in because the onions have a lot of moisture in them, and it'll keep the ground beef from overcooking and becoming too tough. Okay, after your ground beef is browned off and your onions are now translucent, you can go forth with your other ingredients. So next you're going to add in your bell pepper. Again, you can use whatever color you have on hand. Of course, use what you have. I just happen to have these because I'm a huge Aldi fan and they have the 3 peppers for that one price. So I always try to pick those up when I go by. You want to get those well incorporated. Okay, so next you want to go in with your seasonings. So my chili seasoning mix can vary. It depends on who my audience is and who I will be serving, because I try not to make it too spicy if I have guests. But in my house, we really like a lot of spice, so you can see that I added a lot of cayenne pepper. And again, all of the quantities and the ingredients for the chili seasoning will be below in the description box. Once that's well mixed in, I go in with my garlic. I don't add my garlic earlier because I really like the taste of garlic, and I feel like if you add it too early in the recipe, you can't really taste it. I also add my chicken bouillon. I feel like it gives it a depth, like it has cooked for a lot longer than it has, because truthfully, I was able to get this recipe done in less than an hour because we were going to go visit family, and this is a great recipe that's easy to travel with because it's in one pot and everybody can kind of top it with their own toppings that they really prefer. You'll see that at the end of the video what my fiance prefers. Fun fact, I'm actually a vegetarian, so this chili recipe isn't something I would actually consume, but I love making it. Next, I'm going to go in with some diced tomatoes. This will add some moisture back to your chili. As you notice, I don't add any broth to my chili because I really like it to maintain its texture and be really, really thick and filling and really stick to your ribs. Now it's time for the star of the show, the beans. Now, if you're making a vegetarian option of this, which is something that I did do when I made this recipe to take over to family, I did all of the steps excluding the beef, and you would follow them to the T, the order, everything, and it'll turn out absolutely delicious. It's full of protein, which is something that as a vegetarian I find very important. But here I just add the beans. As you see, I'm adding a little by little because I tend to make this in a Dutch oven like I mentioned before, and I wasn't sure if all the beans were going to fit, but luckily they did. So you add all of the beans, you get them stirred in really well, and you then will allow it to simmer. And you want it to simmer until it creates its own liquid that is thick and luscious. Okay, so this is what the chili looks like. About 15 minutes of simmering. I did put a lid on it to allow some of the steam to let it cook down. And now I'm just giving it a good stir to make sure everything's incorporated before I add one of our final ingredients, which is the drained and rinsed corn. I do drain it and rinse it because the liquid that's in the corn can, it just will change the texture. Some people love it. I don't particularly love it in this recipe, so I do drain it and rinse it off a little bit before I add it into the chili. Then I'm just going to make sure this is incorporated really well, throw a lid back on it for like 5 or 10 minutes, and we are ready to go. Okay, so after 5 or 10 minutes, this is what we'll end up with. It's bubbling away. My house smells amazing. You can smell everything from the cumin to the chili powder. The texture is wonderful. And now it's ready to serve up. Now, in my family, we're Texans, so we have added everything to chili from Fritos to chips to cheese, jalapenos, green onions, cilantro, maybe a lime slice. It's totally your preference. I encourage you to try this recipe. It's absolutely delicious. It freezes wonderfully. If you like this video and you would like to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.